Hi, my name is Kaylin, and the purpose of my study was to increase the frequency of appropriate eye contact when manning for an item with a 10-year-old boy on the autism spectrum. The observational definition I chose for eye contact was direct visual contact with another human's eye for at least 1 second. So examples could include looking at somebody's eyes when you're asking for something, asking for an item, asking a question. And non-examples would have included direct visual contact with inanimate objects or animals, or making eye contact for less than a second. So for the purpose of my intervention, fleeting eye contact wasn't being targeted. I chose this behavior because it is socially significant, particularly because of his age. He's in a school almost full time, and it could serve to increase social interactions with his peers. It also will increase the participant's ability to effectively communicate his wants and needs with people, which is incredibly important, as we all know. For the intervention, it consisted of 5-minute sessions that took place wherever the participant wanted to hang out. Prior to each session, we would conduct an informal preference assessment, where he would just, to establish motivation, he would just kind of tell us where he wanted to go, and we would just follow that motivation. During the sessions, the therapist would contrive opportunities for the participant to man for things, such as removing a toy that he was playing with, blocking access to something he wants, just trying to get those mans up. The therapist was responsible for tracking prompted and unprompted mans with eye contact during the sessions, as well as the total number of opportunities for mans during the session. During baseline, the therapist would honor all mans with or without eye contact by giving the participant access to the toy or item that he wanted. We were just taking frequency data. And then during the intervention, the therapist would withhold the item if there was not eye contact, and then use least most prompting to gain eye contact before giving him access to the item. And I wanted to note that it is important. We did give the participant access to the item regardless of the prompt level, as long as he was making eye contact. We have seen a lot of problem behaviors in the past with denied access to preferred items. So we wanted to make sure that this program or intervention wasn't going to become aversive to him. So he always gained access to the item, but we used differential reinforcement to kind of limit the amount of time, and we used behavior-specific praise when he was, as we decreased the prompt levels, just to increase that independent eye contact. I use a multiple baseline design across therapists design, starting with his morning therapist, who he has the most interactions with, and then to his afternoon therapist, and finally to a novel therapist in our center. As for the results, during baseline, unprompted mans with eye contact occurred 3.8% of the time with his morning therapist, 5.5% of the time with his afternoon therapist, and 3% of the time with his novel therapist. During the treatment phase, unprompted mans with eye contact increased significantly by occurring 68% of the time with the morning therapist, 69% of the time with the afternoon therapist, and 49% of the time with the novel therapist. We did kind of run out of time at the end there with the novel therapist. So he actually has met the criteria with the novel therapist as of now, but not when the project was due. Another fun thing to note, we also are about to generalize this intervention to the home setting. His brothers have volunteered to run sessions with him, so hopefully we can see some more generalization and potential long-term maintenance of this behavior if it is being run in multiple settings by multiple people, which is, great to hear. I think the study does suggest that using this intervention of requiring eye contact before honoring all mans increases unprompted mans with eye contact. I had a lot of fun with this project. It was hard to get in on the time crunch, but yeah, thanks for listening.